Oke teman-teman, kita mulai aja ya media jangkitnya buat Dayglow pagi ini. Oke? Nah, selamat pagi semuanya. Terima kasih sudah berkenan untuk ikutan mini media jangket ngobrol bareng sama Dayglow pagi ini. Nah, hari ini kita akan ngobrol dengan Dayglow mengenai album keduanya Harmony House yang sudah dirilis. Terus juga mungkin teman-teman juga bisa bertanya lebih lanjut tentang musiknya, tentang secara teknis dia bikin musiknya kayak gimana. Jadi hari ini kita bisa ngobrol dengan Dayglow selama setengah jam ke depan. Untuk teman-teman yang mau nanya langsung, monggo, seperti yang tadi sudah dijelaskan Rudy, bahwa nanti akan digilir untuk pertanyaannya, bagaikan ya gambarannya kayak roundtable kalau kita lagi interview offline. Tapi nanti jika ada teman-teman yang pengen dari Dundi untuk nanyain, monggo nggak apa-apa juga, jadi nanti akan ditanyakan. Gitu. Semuanya pada saat ngobrol nanti kita akan dalam bahasa Inggris, tapi jika teman-teman ingin minta diterjemahkan sedikit, nanti akan kita terjemahkan dalam garis besarnya aja. Oke? Semoga teman-teman happy dengan bertemu Dayglow hari ini. Monggo silakan tanya apa yang pengen ditanyakan, dan media jangkat ini akan di-lead sama Dondi. Oke, Sloan sudah ada di ruangan juga, udah ada di Zoom. Jadi silakan Dondi.
Oke, thank you teman-teman yang sudah menyempatkan waktu. Jadi nggak perlu lama-lama lagi ya, waktunya juga mepet. Kita langsung aja. This is gonna be exciting because we are gonna have a chat with the one and only Slow Strobel. He is already here, so please welcome. This is Dayglow, Slow Strobel. Hello, Sloan. Can you turn on the camera for us? There he is.
Hey,
Hey, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Yeah, this is fun. This is the first Zoom I've done like this with so many people.
Ooh, nice. So, please welcome the media in Indonesia. There are 6 media here. There are Soundcorners, Rockstars Magazine, Boleh Musik, Bingkai Karya, Seputar Musik, and also Heart Corner Collective. They are so excited to meeting you today. So let's get into it. But before that, I will introduce you to our media first. Jadi Dayglow ini teman-teman musisi yang udah merilis 2 buah album. Jadi Fuzzy Brain itu di tahun 2018 dan yang terbaru adalah Harmony House. Seperti yang kita tahu, Fuzzy Brain itu sempat ada single yang jadi viral di TikTok, yaitu adalah single Can I Call You Tonight, which Sloan wrote on this very room, right? Because you are now in your parents' house, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I am. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm here consequentially for tonight. So yeah.
Cool. Oke. Jadi di tahun 2018 rilis Fuzzy Brain, terus di tahun 2021 di bulan Mei, di akhir Mei kemarin, dia merilis album keduanya yang berjudul Harmony House. Sedikit berbeda dari album yang sebelumnya di Fuzzy Brain dan di Harmony House ini, dia lebih explore musik yang agak 80s, 70s, something like that. So I want to ask you about Harmony House, though, Sloan. You kind of like put a different perspective into your second album, this album, Harmony House in particular. Why did you choose like 70s, 80s music vibe into it?
It's kind of just naturally what I was listening to at the time. I think every artist is kind of copying someone else.
Right.
Not to the fullest extent, but yeah, I was just listening to a lot of 70s and 80s pop records. And I just think there's so much musically to be discovered from 80s music. And I wasn't seeing a lot of that being, replicated right now, at least in the bubble that I'm in, and like the indie pop world. So I thought, I would try to make an 80s indie pop album, just for fun.
Yeah. And I bet it's a great choice because we are enjoying those album now, Harmony House. Jadi teman-teman, dia memilih 70-80-an itu karena memang dia melihat dari bubbles-nya dia, dari lingkungan sekitarnya dia, musik indie itu masih belum ada yang mengeksplor dan mereplikasi musik-musik di tahun 70 80-an, dan dia merasa there are a lot of things, banyak banget hal yang bisa dieksplor dari musik-musik 70 80-an. Sloan sendiri suka banget dengerin musik-musik tahun 70 80, jadi dia pengen mengembangkan hal itu lagi lebih lagi. Dan itu terwujud di Harmony House ini. But first I have to congratulate you because a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, you are performing in Lollapalooza. It's the first time after a while you went and performing into a big audience, right? How does it feel, Sloan?
Yeah, it was nuts. Lollapalooza was a very big event, which was fun, but yeah, crazy because it just happened so quickly, and I never would have dreamed I would have gotten to take part in something like that. So it was just a really fun experience.
Because you posted on Instagram that you are having so much fun until you like what is it like rolling around in the stage.
Yeah, we just made the most of it and had fun on stage.
Oke, jadi throwback sedikit, di beberapa minggu yang lalu nih teman-teman, dia sempat posting, sempat tampil di Lollapalooza. Lollapalooza seperti yang kita tahu adalah salah satu event terbesar juga festival musik yang akhirnya diadakan secara offline, dan dia salah satu line up, dan dia sangat excited sekali, sangat suka banget, dan sangat sangat menyenangkan sekali experience yang dia rasakan ketika perform di Lollapalooza. Okay, so that's all my question. Let's get into the media's question, because if I ask too many questions, then they will not have the time to ask you some questions, right?
Sure.
Okay, so let's start with Sound Corner. Mas Gunawan, mau nanya langsung ke Sloan atau bagaimana? Atau kalau misalnya teman-teman ada pertanyaan-pertanyaan tambahan dari yang sebelumnya disubmit, boleh banget di-share di chat box-nya kita. Nanti kalau misalnya teman-teman mau menanyakan sendiri boleh, kalau misalnya mau dibantu aku yang menanyakan juga boleh. Oke, Mas Gunawan boleh di chat ya, mau nanya apa. Mas Gunawan already send the question to us, Sloan. So Sloan, Mas Gunawan from Sound Corner asks, in your production process for this album, Harmony House, how far did you combine soft rock genre in 70s, 80s music in each of your work, in terms of like color of the sound quality that you presented? Start from like how you decided to how to color the vocal or instrument. Is there like any traditional instrument that you use as well?
For sure, yeah. So a lot of what inspired the 80s production was that a lot of the gear that I was using was from the 80s. So a lot of synthesizers and keyboards that I had were recorded analog live into the computer versus using like plugins and MIDI and stuff. And so I wasn't using any like tape machines or anything, but I really studied how albums were made then and how certain instruments were processed, and I won't go too deep into it, but I definitely was very careful in approaching it as much as honestly and truthfully as I could, because the audio like integrity really matters to me, so hopefully it sounds authentic.
Great. So you try to push as authentic as possible to the 70s and 80s sound, right? Through the process of writing.
Yeah.
Cool. So Mas Gunawan sedikit ditranslate. Jadi dia memang berusaha semaksimal mungkin, seotentik mungkin dalam menciptakan lagu di Harmony House ini untuk mereplika 70-80-an. Dia bahkan pakai synthesizer gitu. Terus ada keyboard juga yang dia pakai, dan benar-benar dia berusaha semaksimal mungkin untuk bisa mereplikasi sound-sound yang dihasilkan semirip mungkin dengan apa yang dihasilkan di tahun 70-80-an. The last question we got from Sound Corner, from Mas Gunawan again. So he asked very technical question. So I tried to interpret it to you, translate it to you. So when you do some concert, what is the gear setup that you have from what is the thing that you most likely to put on the gear that sounds so good? Is there like any special thing? I mean, like when it comes to mic selection or gear selection that you have compared to the virtual thing that you have, is there any differences in there?
Oh, good question. Yeah. I mean, I approach live music and recording music completely differently. So when I'm recording and in the studio, I try to go as analog as possible. You know, if I can use hardware compressors, I go for it. I try to. But when I'm on the road, I really don't try to tour with. I try to tour with as little as possible. I like it to be as light as possible because nowadays you can get things that sound great, at least in my opinion, that are digital. Because I used to carry around a pedal board, and then every single show I would have at least one thing go wrong, you know, with the settings and whatnot. And so now I tour with like a Helix, a Line 6 Helix floorboard, which is like a digital pedal board, and I've loved it. So we don't have to carry amps or pedal boards. So me and my guitarist and my bassist all don't have amps, which is so nice because those are heavy. So yeah, I don't know. I love the Line 6 Helix floorboards, and we all play Fender guitars. I have a Fender Stratocaster. As far as mics, I don't necessarily have a favorite stage mic, and I guess a Shure SM58. You know, that's kind of everywhere. Assuming this is a gear person. And recording in the studio, I use there's a company in Austin where I'm from called Warm Audio, and they remake a lot of vintage gear for way cheaper. And I use a WA-87, which is like a Neumann 87 clone. And that's what I use on vocals.
Wow.
I'm done with all the technical stuff. There we go.
There are a lot of technical stuff. I try to.
Yeah, sorry for boring everyone.
I try, but correct me if I'm wrong. So when it comes to concert, kalau untuk konser dia berusaha analog banget, Mas Gunawan. Jadi ceritanya kayak memang dia berusaha seanalog mungkin dalam menciptakan lagu ketika dia menciptakan lagu. Tapi kalau konser dia berusaha seminimal mungkin untuk bisa menampilkan sound yang hampir sama dengan analog, karena sekarang banyak banget barang-barang digital yang sudah tersedia dengan sound yang kurang lebih sama atau bahkan lebih bagus. Dia lebih mengedepankan ke pedal board. Jadi dia ada pedal board, if I'm not mistaken, the name is Helix 600, 660?
Just a Helix 6.
Helix 6 itu adalah.
Yeah. I did not remember that you were translating all of this. I was like, I went on way too long. I'm sorry about that.
That's why I asked you for correction, right? Helix 6 for the pedal board, ada pedal board Helix 6. Terus kalau gitar dia pakai Fender, Mas. Terus untuk soundnya sendiri, untuk mic-nya sendiri, dia ada satu studio yang dia suka banget. Dia tempatnya di situ, di studio. Ada mic yang dia pakai. If I'm not mistaken, the name is WA-78. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's a WA-87.
WA-87. Itu tadi mic yang dia pakai supaya dia soundnya lebih ke vintage gitu. Lebih ke yang dia mau seperti. Kurang lebih begitu teknisnya. I'm sorry if I'm translated so wrong because I'm not into that technical stuff.
Don't worry, we can translate it after the interview. So after the interview, we will re-listening again all of the recording.
Yes.
So Mas Gunawan nanti terjemahan secara detailnya nanti akan di info ya.
Okay. So that